Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about train wreck relationships here in the Philippines. The first one I'm going to start with is a man that's married to two Filipinos. And I'm not saying he got divorced from one or the other. He's married to both of them right now. So, I've been talking to this guy back and forth on social media, and he's always telling me about his electric bike, and he's got a wife, and she's in the Middle East working, and she was going to be there for 2 years and was going to be coming home. So anyway, she came home, and I seen a picture of him and her on social media, and I was like, oh, okay, well, his wife's back home, that's cool. And didn't think much more about it. I knew he had an electric bike that he rode around and stuff, but, you know, I wondered how he was going to get that to the new town where he's moving to, but whatever. So then a few days later, I get a message request in Facebook from this gal, and she says, I know you're friends with my husband, and I would like to talk to you if that's humanly possible. So I reacted back to her, and I was like, sure, what can I help you with? And she says, well, he just disappeared. I said, well, what do you mean? I just saw you guys on social media. And she goes, well, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, he just posted a picture that his wife just came back and him and her together. That's not you? And she goes, no, sir, that's not me. She said, he said he was going to town for something, and I went on to work. When I came home, all of his belongings were gone, and so was he, along with the electric bike that he had. I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't know what I can do for you. Well, you know, what are you looking for? What, you know? Well, I just want to make sure he's okay. And I was really confused at that point. And I said, so he up and left. All of his belongings are gone. But I just saw a picture of you guys on social media. And she goes, no, that's not me. And I was going, okay, well, I'm just totally confused. And she said, well, I've heard rumors that another woman came back and he's married to her. But we just got married recently in my barangay, not my barangay, but yeah, I guess in a barangay or town or whatever, and by the mayor. Okay, well, something ain't making sense here. So she starts sending me photos of the electric bike, pictures of him, pictures of his ID, pictures that show them getting married by the mayor, and the marriage license. I was like, oh, Lord, I don't know if I want to get tangled up in this mess. So I said, well, okay, what can I do for you? She goes, well, I just don't know what to do, because if he took off and he's with another woman, that electric bike's in my name and I'm having to make the payments on it. And she said, you know, I'm just really upset because I came back to my hometown. I was working in Manila as a school teacher and I was making good money. And he talked me into leaving that job and coming and being with him. And so in the meantime, this guy had been telling me that he was living with his mother-in-law. And but I took that as the first wife's mother and not the new wife's mother. And so this just turned into crazy. So anyway, so she didn't text me for a few days, nothing was said. And all of a sudden she started texting me again. And she said, well, I figured out that he has another wife, and I was going to go after him because he owes me for this electric bike. But then I found out his wife's name, his other wife's name, and I told her, hey, I want my money. I'm going to turn you guys in. You know, what he did is not right, vice, you know, as this goes on. So I was like, oh, Lord. So she tells me, so I told her about this, and she told me, well, I was married to him first, so you illegally married him. and I'm going to have you arrested if you bother us ever again. And I was like, I just cannot believe this. This is, you know, and this guy posts pictures of him in the church. And they're doing this and that, and he's such a holy Christian man. I'm just like, wow. I just, you know, the proof was in the pudding. I mean, she sent me all the information, and pretty convincing. So I just really, really feel bad for the girl, the last wife. And the first wife, I really don't understand why she went back with him, knowing what he did to her while she was gone. So who knows? But the next one I'll talk to you about is a local one here that kind of was crazy. A foreigner guy gets married to a girl. Everything's going along fine. He decides that he wants another woman. So he starts dating another girl. And he's married to the first one. So as things go along, he falls in love with this other girl. And I guess the two of them planned out that they'd kill his first wife to get rid of her. So they killed the girl and buried her in the backyard in a fairly shallow grave. And someone came along and found her, and now both of them are in jail. Then I'll go back to another one that was a fellow that, he was from Georgia, a real country boy. Came and got him found him somebody online, came over and met her, married her, went back to the USA. And it wasn't long after that she contacted him. She said, well, I have a little issue here. And he goes, what's that? And she goes, I'm pregnant. And he goes, oh, well, that's wonderful. And she said, yeah, okay. So he started sending her money to rent a house and take care of her and the, you know, pregnancy and food and groceries and electricity and Wi-Fi so they could talk and all this stuff. And this went on for quite a while. And so she has a baby. He's all excited. He flies over, sees the baby. It kind of looks like him, and he doesn't, you know, have any doubts. And everything was going along fine. He goes back to Georgia. And in the meantime, I guess he'd been sending her photos of a house that he lived in there, and it was a really nice, very beautiful place. And she was all excited about going to the USA. So as soon as he came, you know, as soon as they got married, he put in for the paperwork for her to come to the USA. Then after the child was born, he added him to that. So everything was going smooth along. He got the papers back for her to come, but she's like, I don't want to come until I can bring my son with me. So he said, okay. So they waited a time, and he got the papers back for the son to come. And they wanted to get a DNA test done. He went to get the DNA test, his part done, and had to come there and do it. And come to find out it wasn't his kid. So he takes the girl, moves her to the USA without the kid, because he can't bring him. And instead of moving her in this fancy house that he showed her, he moved her in a little trailer out in the boondocks on some empty land. And a little tiny camper trailer, not a trailer. And so she wasn't happy with that at all. She lived in a nice house and you know, back home, and going to a little camper, she kind of felt like she went downhill instead of uphill. So then they're fighting all the time. She's crying because she misses her son. And instead of him dealing with her and not bringing her here at all, or not bringing her to the U.S. at all, he decides that he's going to yank her out of the bed one night, drag her out in the main part of the camper, turn her over his knee and spank her like a child. Well, the next morning he went to work, and she got to packing and she left. And went with another guy and had another child by him in the USA. And then eventually got her, went through everything and got her citizenship for the U.S. and brought her son over. But just some crazy stuff, you know, that can happen over here and in any country, really. I just figured I'd share some of the craziness that I've heard of over here. There's another gentleman that came over here in May, and I was talking to him, and he said, you know, it's really funny. I came in May 1st, and May 12th, my girlfriend wasn't feeling good, so I took her down, and she had a pregnancy test done, and guess what? She's pregnant. I said, wow, only in 12 days, or 11 days, or whatever it was. And then he's thinking, well, I don't know what to think. You know, is this really mine or is it not? And so we'll see when the baby comes, and if it's white or if it's brown. So maybe we'll know the difference. But so anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking this video, sharing it with others. I really appreciate all the help and growing our channel, and hopefully we can keep you with some good entertainment and keep things going for you.
Hi, I'm Monty Crew.
Hi, and I'm Argel Crew.
We're a married couple living in the Philippines.
We will be covering topics about everyday life here in the Philippines. So if you are planning to visit, move to, or retire here in the Philippines,
Tap that subscription button, tap that bell notification so you don't miss out on anything.